Okay, let's talk Oscars, shall we? Okay, so last night was the 98th annual Academy Awards, and for the most part, it was fine. You know, some of the great things I loved was Conan O'Brien. He's always great. I think he's the perfect type of comedian for a job like this, where people take themselves way too seriously, and his self-deprecating style of jokes and this kind of good-natured style of jokes is perfect without ruffling any feathers. And I really hope that he's going to be this generation's version of Billy Crystal when it comes to the Oscars. When I was growing up as a teenager, I think Billy Crystal hosted 7 Academy Awards, and I was all for it. And so if they do, I think this is the second year in a row, they do 5 more, 6 more, he could be their host in perpetuity as far as I'm concerned. He's just awesome every single time. A couple of things that I also really enjoyed was I love Michael B. Jordan's speech when he got Best Actor. There's a part of me that still feels like there's like just a wee bit of cheating because he played 2 people instead of 1. Either way, his performance was incredible. I was still rooting for Wagner Moura, the Brazilian actor, for the Brazilian movie The Secret Agent, but I'm not mad at it. Michael B. Jordan had definitely, since Creed, I've always put him up there with like, he can get to this level. He's definitely Oscar worthy. I just didn't know it was going to be so soon. But I think the timing of it was just right when you think of his entire career. So I appreciated that. Now he's in the lexicon of other great black actors like Sidney Poitier and Denzel Washington, Forest Whitaker, and Jamie Foxx and Morgan Freeman, all the great ones that have Academy Awards, and he's part of that very exclusive club now. What I didn't particularly appreciate, one battle after another, which I found, in hindsight, it's a good movie. I don't think it's a Best Picture winner, but it is what it is. Sinners is just endlessly more watchable. I've seen it 5 times up to now, and it just gets better and better every single time. Whereas with One Battle After Another, like, solid performances. They're really, really good. Tiana Taylor's great. Sean Penn is great. Benicio del Toro's great. But it was just, I don't know, it didn't move me at all, whereas Sinners did. And so I think at the end of the day, Sinners should have gone home with 7 Academy Awards, instead of 4. I think it should have won for Best Picture, Best Director, and Delroy Lindo for Best Supporting Actor. I loved that, Michael B. Jordan won for Best Actor, that Ludwig, I can't pronounce his name, I'm sorry, won for Best Original Score, Ryan Coogler for Best Original Screenplay, and it gave me some flashbacks of Quentin Tarantino with Pulp Fiction, where it was like, we're not going to give it to you just yet, but it was definitely a great movie, and it was a great screenplay, so here you go. I think eventually Ryan Coogler will win an Academy Award for Best Director, but personally, I think it should have been now, just like I think that's what happened last night with Paul Thomas Anderson got it. He probably should have gotten it for There Will Be Blood or Phantom Thread. So this was like, we should have given it to you last time, but you did a good job, so here you go this time. And it's a trend that happens with the Academy Awards on the regular. Bill Maher did a great video about it on the Friday before the awards, where he talked about so many times actors have gotten awards not because they necessarily deserve them, but because we should have given it to you before. Much like Al Pacino probably should have won for a great number of his roles, or especially early in his career, particularly The Godfather Part 2. But later on, he plays Lieutenant Colonel Frank Slade in Scent of a Woman, and it's like, okay, it was good, so we'll give it to you. And it's something to expect at some point. The other thing that I really enjoyed, that I was it caught me off guard. I didn't think I was going to get emotional as I did. I got a little teary-eyed, I'm not going to lie, with the In Memoriam moments, from Catherine O'Hara and Diane Keaton to Rob Reiner to Robert Redford. All of those segments just, they really got me in the feels, and it reminded me of, what I had said in a previous video where, I'm getting to that age where the people that I looked up to and admired and were my heroes, you got to start saying goodbye to them, and the people who gave those tributes were great. Rachel McAdams, uh, Barbara Streisand, Billy Crystal, whoever wrote their speeches, their tributes, A plus. You guys did an incredible job of saying the right things, and they were incredible in saying it the right way. So I think what sums it up in general, really, because there wasn't no controversy, nobody got slapped, nobody did a, longer than normal political speech. I saw a video where Michael B. Jordan is giving his acceptance speech, which was incredible. And at the top of the video, the caption is, "This is what Ricky Gervais was talking about." So he kept it, very personal. The people that supported him, the club he's now a part of, and how he appreciates that he's been recognized by his peers, just like he did with the SAG Awards. So overall, it was good. Super happy that Amy Madigan won for Best Supporting Actress. Let me not forget that. Anyways, those are my thoughts. What about yours? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.